People have said it for years.
Bailey, you have a black cloud hanging over you all the time.
Now, there's a podcast to hear those dumbass stories of misery and triumph. Welcome to Bailey's Black Cloud Podcast.
Yeah, episode 51. Thanks for being here in the Golden Scissor Studio. My name is Jason Bailey, beautiful Roswell, Georgia. Right there, there is Nate in his NASA t-shirt in beautiful Mexico. Look at that.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo está usted? And then there is Brandon back in the Golden Scissor Studio. Look at him go.
In the new chairs.
In the new chairs. He's got it so good. Look, we were talking about that the other day when we had a prep day. And I said, God, Bailey Entertainment LLC might actually, by the end of 2022, be rated as one of the best places to work. Like in
the COVID studios.
In Forbes magazine is going to say Bailey Entertainment LLC, the Golden Scissor Studio, one of the best places to work. You've been working here for about 3 months, right?
Yeah, end of October, yeah.
Okay. You've gotten a Christmas prize.
Shoes.
You got shoes. You got 2 new office chairs, which I really didn't have to do, right?
I mean, it would help my back a lot. I can already feel that this is going to be a whole lot better.
Oh, I did it. My friend told me this one time back in the 90s. Everything I do it for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
His name's Brian.
With a Y.
He gets an Apple laptop, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Still, I don't know if you own it yet or not.
Okay.
It's like lease to own. So that one's a question mark. I just want to make sure that's very clear. And then just recently, he got podcasting equipment given to him by Bailey Entertainment LLC, so we can add more content to the network. This would be for the subscribers, for you 2%ers. The Clueless 2 are going to bring back their podcast from back in the day, Brandon and Def August, and they will be featured on our channel, maybe even as soon as this week. Who knows? You know,
nice.
So I mean, like Nate, all the perks. Oh, and the biggest one I forget.
Yeah, I was going to say
the trip to Mexico.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That was a big. I mean, that was like a Christmas bonus. That was out of the blue. That was out of nowhere. Nobody, I'm saying nobody, starts a new job and in 3 months gets those types of perks.
Yeah, no, I've never even got to travel for another job.
Look at that. I mean, it's just not the best place to work.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It is pretty fun. I mean,
yeah, and it's kind of like the .com boom in the 90s or in the 2000s, where you go to work and there's like you get food, there's dogs playing around your legs. It's just kind of that cool atmosphere.
It's like the movie the Internship, or The Intern with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
I'm going to put in a nap pod in the corner for Brandon. So yeah, we were discussing that the other day. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. This is always going to be the free OG episode. If you want some merchandise, like a Black Cloud podcast t-shirt, you can get those on our new website, podcastthebs.com. You asked and we delivered. Some of you were saying, is there any way we can get the logos on the back of the shirt versus the front of the shirt? And Nate made that happen within hours. So thanks for doing that. I guess that's I can understand. I never even thought about it. It's just some people are particular. I mean, like really, really particular about where they want their logo on their shirts. So I get it. Totally get it. Thanks for the feedback. And we were able to accommodate. So you can get, if you want the logo on the front or the back. I think the t-shirts, you can have 2 logos. You can have the BS logo on the back and the Black Cloud on the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of switch it up for the t-shirts.
Yeah, just they're labeled in the title. So if you're looking for the back one, just make sure it says back design only or something like that up there. So you don't if you want it on the front, just look at the title of it. There
you go. And there's tons of other stuff on the merch store. That was another thing everybody wanted when we started this project, was the merch store. And so we got it up there for you, and we appreciate everybody. You know, I mean, for us, it's really just getting the brand out there. I promise you, we're not getting rich off of this by no stretch of the imagination, but it's to accommodate you and to get the brand out there. So not only, real quick before I get to my Black Cloud this week, not only will we be putting the Clueless 2 on the channel, but also there's a new feature that will start this week. I think we're going to do it on Saturdays, called the Way J-Bay Back Moment. And I realized that after posting the tribute to Bob Saget the other week, that I have ridiculous amounts of really good audio from different shows that I've hosted at different radio stations. Now, I know somebody had said on the Two Percenters Facebook group, saying, I hope I can hear this. Or that. You're probably not going to get a lot of stuff from the Rock 100 Days, the former employer. It's just too new. It's just that like you've heard it. This is stuff you've never heard before, at least for most of you. For our Florida audience, I'm sure some of you have heard it before, and you'd be like, whoa, way. So like I'm just pulling all this audio from 98 Rock, from WJRR, from Real Radio. And it's really funny. Like I've worked with some really talented people. One of the shows in particular was in Orlando when we first started at Real Radio. It was me and my two producers, Brian Sklover, which we called him Bull, and then this other guy, Prince. His name's Jonathan Howe, and both of them, but really Bull for me. But both of them, to their credit, they have this infectious laugh. And I think that is so important on a radio show, like a morning show, to have an infectious, it's not fake, it's fucking real. And Bull, every time that motherfucker would laugh, I laughed. And it just made you feel good. Unfortunately, we had a kind of a falling out. And how he handled it towards the end was not, I think, the best way to handle things. But anyway, that's besides the point. Back in the day, we had some good times. And so some of that audio will play. And then when I was in Tampa, I worked with two other really talented people. And that's not even including the interns that we had. They were all great for the most part. But Ethan Euchre and Lauren O'Neill they were on my show in Tampa. And God, that's actually the first clip that we're going to play. Hiccup Girl is from the 98 Rock days. So that's nice. Very, very funny. I was for 2 days, I just was listening to audio, and I never do that, ever.
Well, and you have so much audio probably from things that don't exist anymore. A lot like the Rock 100 days, they live on the internet still. They're still on the podcast, probably. I don't even know. But yeah, this stuff, it's probably nowhere else. So if it's just sitting in your vault, why not post it up and let people enjoy it again? I
have a storage case filled, actually two storage cases, two large storage tubs filled with cassettes. I would love to get that transferred over digitally. I don't know how much that would cost. I'm assuming a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, you're talking probably $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Yeah. How much do you charge, Brandon?
Convert it over. So you just put it in a machine and then it just does it for you?
He's like, what's a cassette?
I'm assuming, I don't know. I don't know if they have technology that can go through it fast, but, a cassette, the whole point was, real time. So you would have to play it out in real time in order
Unless you have high-speed dubbing.
Yeah, I didn't know if you...
Remember that?
That's, I would assume.
I thought you could, maybe they had like a digital cassette player and it just plugs into your computer and you just put it in there and
I think you're just making shit up right now.
I think they do that shit at like Walgreens because they have the VHS to DVD stuff at Walgreens. So I wonder if they do audio too.
I don't know. If anybody knows, please feel free to let me know. I'd love to have that stuff. There's one piece of audio in particular that, and I know where it's at. I know what the tape looks like. I can see it. But it's Jennifer Love Hewitt saying, "I love you, Buckethead." And I would love to have that drop. I'll never forget that day because I was a producer. I might have even been an intern at the time. And the show that I started on, Doc and Johnny at XL 106.7, they had her on for something. I think it was the first. I
Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think it was for that movie, whatever year that was. And she comes on, and they knew how much of a crush I had on her. And they were like, "Hey, our intern, our producer, Buckethead, he's got this huge crush." She's like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Hi, Buckethead." I was like, "Hi, Jennifer." She's like, "I love you, Buckethead." I was like, "Ooh, shaky willies." Went back to the fraternity house. Guys, guess what happened today? Jennifer Love Hewitt says she loves me.
What's she doing now? Did she just like kind of stopped acting, I feel like.
No, she does stuff. I follow her. Her and Alyssa Milano. You think that they're like null and void, but they do a lot of stuff. Alyssa Milano is like very much into activism right now.
Yeah. She's
a big time lefty. Like everything that anybody from the right says, she goes to Instagram and immediately says it's bad. Like, I don't even think she thinks it through. She just goes on there and posts something like with her kid and goes, that's fucking wrong. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's married and she posts a lot of family stuff, but I think she still does acting. A lot of these people do, a lot of them do acting. You just don't know it. And they're on like a Netflix show or an Amazon show. They all have gigs. They're all doing something. You know, they just might not be the main cohorts, main person. Who knows?
You know, I'm not 100% sure I know who you're talking about.
Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah.
Oh, she's still very gorgeous, but she was one of my crushes. Like, don't you have a crush? Don't you have a movie star crush?
Yeah, Blake Lively.
Okay.
Talked about it last week or something.
Yeah, okay, Blake Lively. Okay, exactly. Well, Blake Lively to you would be Jennifer Love Hewitt to me back in the 90s.
Oh, okay. What's she playing?
What's she playing? What's she doing up in that bitch? What's she playing in? So she was in a bunch of different 90s movies. Very, like, she was 90s pop culture, right? She Can't Hardly Wait. I Know What You Did Last Summer, like all 20 of them. Party of Five was what she was really big sitcom. It was like came on after like a 90210 or something like that. It was on, I think, on Fox. And she's done a couple other things. I know I'm missing something really, really big, like probably what she's known for. But that's who she is.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of any of those.
And she started dating my buddy, Rich Cronin. Remember we had my friend from LFO on, Rich Cronin.
Oh, yeah.
Her and Rich started dating when LFO was a big deal. That's Girl on TV. Their song is about her. And she had just got done dating Carson Daly. So I got to, stupid little fat radio dude, me, gets to live vicariously through a good-looking boy band, rock star guy. And that was probably the highlight of my life. Who knows? I have no idea. Anyway, so my black cloud for this week, let's get this out of there. My black cloud for this week is kind of odd. It is, so I wasn't necessarily tricked into going out to dinner with my wife and her friends, but the way that she teed it, I don't mind going out to dinner. I just don't like going out to dinner with people that I don't know.
Yeah, I think you got to at least know probably half the party.
Well, yeah, or know them well enough to be interested. My problem is I'm not interested in what you have to say. Yeah. And I think it might be kind of like a guy thing, right? And I'm not trying to be rude. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. This isn't gimmick to be a dick. I'm really not. It's just I lose interest quickly. I lose interest when my wife tells stories. Like my wife, when she tells stories, especially when she drinks, I just want to hit her over the head with a Donkey Kong hammer. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Get to the fucking point. So somebody else can say something. You're dominating the conversation. So she goes, hey, a friend of mine who I know, very nice woman, it was one of Rachel's first clients actually, is in town, and her husband want to take us out to dinner in downtown Roswell. Well, we've lived in Roswell, Georgia for 7 years, give or take. And I think I've been to downtown Roswell and actually participated in the food and stuff maybe 3 times. I don't know why. It's great. It's a great little area. I don't like to go out and eat. I like to cook my own food. So I was like, okay, that's nice. It's important because, they're clients and they're friends. And actually that's where we got Maxie Man. She used to be a breeder. She's a very nice woman. I know her. I've met her. I was like, okay, cool. I'll meet her husband, guy talk. So you know how that works. You got 2 couples. You can get away with that if you don't know the person because you got 2 dudes, trying to make it work, talk about football, talk about meat, talk about liquor, talk about boobs. You can talk about guy stuff. Well, we get there and, we got to wait for a table. So we go to the bar and her friend is there with a girlfriend. There's no dude in sight. And then they start making jokes where it's like as soon as I walk up, they go, oh, Jason joined us for girls' night. I was like, what? I go, I didn't know about girls' night. I thought this was a double date. But now I've put this other girl on the defense, like right out of the gates, because I've already said, well, I didn't think you were going to fucking be here. So it like starts out weird and everything. And I don't handle situations like that. I mean, I can talk myself out of a paper bag, but when I become uninterested in something, I just bail out. I mean, Nate, I think you've seen it before. If I'm having a party at my house and I'm tired and I'm not having fun anymore, I'll just go up and go to sleep. I don't have the time I don't want to I don't have the stamina to put the work in to make it better. I just do my own thing. Right.
Right. Yeah. So what did you do?
Well, I sat through the dinner, but it was tough. I'm going to be honest with you. Like one guy, 3 girls and sushi. It was a tough, and everybody's drinking, and we were drinking heavily too. And they got drunk a lot faster than we did. They were drinking tequila. I was drinking what I've now coined the Roswell Mule.
What's that?
It's a Russian mule with vodka. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a mulehito. That's what I call it. A mulehito. It's a Russian mule with vodka instead of rum and mint. Add mint. So it's a
okay. So you're making the mojito like a mule. Right?
Or you're making a mule like a mojito because it comes in a mule glass.
But a mule has vodka in it, so if you're replacing,
no, it doesn't. It has rum in it.
Wouldn't a Russian mule have vodka though?
Yeah.
Or no. Russian mule has gin in it. Right?
Why would that? No, because vodka is Russian.
Well, what has rum in it? The mojito has rum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The mule has vodka.
Oh, okay. But I want the ginger beer. That's the thing. I want the ginger beer.
Yeah, because that's a mule. It's vodka, ginger beer, and lime.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, but they serve it in the mule glass. I like that copper glass.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it keeps it nice and cold and chilly. So it's called a mulehito.
I like it.
Yeah. So you're like, so now instead of when I order the drink and I'm picking it apart all a la carte and it looks like I'm high maintenance, I just say, can I get a mulehito? And they look stupid. They're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, you've never made a mulehito before?
First time.
Dummies. Must be your first time behind the bar, working the till. So, we get there and we're talking, and then it's just an overabundance of girl talk. And when women tell stories, I'm sorry, ladies. I love you. I really, really do. And no matter how I put this, it's going to come across as chauvinistic and dickish and all that stuff. But let truth be told. Let the truth be told. Women are not great storytellers. Because, and for one reason and one reason only, they don't know how to end the story. They don't know how to wrap it up. And that's a problem. My wife has a huge issue with this, and I can see the wheels moving as she's telling the story. She's like a racehorse. Out of the gates, she's automatically in first place, and she gets halfway through around the track, and she just starts kind of wandering around in circles in the middle of the track. It's like, where do I go? So they lose sight of, when you're telling a story, however it is, for behind a microphone or in person. As soon as you tell the story, you should never forget where you're going to end, because it'll help you get there faster. Right?
Yeah.
So she needs to know where to end. But it wasn't just her. It was the other 2 ladies. And then, then you get isolated when you're in a situation like this. And so Rach and the other woman who we know are talking. And then now I don't want to say stuck, because she was a very pleasant woman. She was very nice. But I'm talking with this other woman just one-on-one. And so I'm, yippity yapping, and I'm doing the same thing. I've got nothing to say. I've got nothing interesting to say, because you have to be careful when you're having I'm totally overthinking this, I know. But it's like, you don't want to start off with, I do, because then it's all about you. So I start asking questions about her, and then women love that, right? It's kind of like in 40-Year-Old Virgin is, when Seth Rogen is like, dude, all you got to do is ask questions. Do you like to do it yourself?
Yeah.
So I'm like rapid, asking questions. And then you're going to get to a point where you're going to hit a topic, or you're going to hit on something that they're very passionate about or is way deep and they can't stop talking about. In this case, I did that. Any guesses on what the conversation turned into? Never in a million years would you be able to guess this. But go ahead. Give it a shot, Nate.
Is it something to do with what she does for work?
No. Brandon?
Do you think the ceiling fans are all spinning the same way in this restaurant?
That's good, Brandon. One question right there. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Save that one for Monday. No, she died and came back to life.
So she was a ghost?
Yeah.
No, she's alive now.
Yeah, for a minute, she was a ghost, though. Yeah, because she saw herself and her surroundings. They went down to Costa Rica, her and her friends, and something happened, and she got really, really sick. And it was this long, actually very interesting story, but very long, about her being in the hospital and then coming out of the hospital and then coming home and then going back and then like an insurance and then like there was so much information I forgot probably all the good parts, other than the fact that she died, or she says she died. She goes, I think I died, and I saw myself and I came back to life. Now, when you don't know someone and you're sitting in a crowded, busy, noisy restaurant, kind of trendy, eating sushi, having a good time, and somebody's going deep on you like this, not like that, you know what I mean, but like deep, like a deep conversation, it makes things weird and very uncomfortable and very awkward because you have to transition out of that.
That's when you transition to the ceiling fan thing.
God, I can't believe you died. Makes me think, are all these ceiling fans going the right way?
Yeah, because you can't really one up that story. Like, oh, you died? Hey, I just got a new shed on the side of my house. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's nothing that I have in my arsenal that can top that story.
So Jennifer Love Hewitt.
So I'm
You
going.
should have seen me.
I'm going in the back of my my Rolodex of stories, and I'm going, nope, not going to work. Nope, that's not happening. Yep, and that's kind of what you do, right? I mean, a good storyteller in a social setting. If you're a good talker in a social setting, I'm not talking. I know there's some people that are picking this apart, going, "Shut the fuck up, Bailey," because you sit there and ramble all the time. Well, this is what this is. I'm talking about in a social setting. Is a good social setting storyteller will transition in their stories with mini stories of their own. And I know I'm overthinking this and breaking it down, but I overanalyze everything. A bad social storyteller will one up everything. And you see it all the time. And it's not because they're necessarily narcissistic or egotistical. It's because they don't know how to properly behave in that setting. That, I mean, a little bit might be, for some people it's narcissism, but I think for the most part, when people do the one-up storytelling, it's because they just feel that that's how you keep the story going, right? But that's the worst person. That's the worst person to go out with. Oh my God. I had friends like that in college that were just like, it doesn't matter what you would say. It was just, they'd always, just recently, we worked with a guy. It was like always trying to one up. It's like, I got to be better. Oh, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the bad one. But I got to tell you, it was, the black cloud, I guess the point of the black cloud is that I was stuck at this table for hours and it never ended. It just wouldn't end. And
you can't leave.
No, you can't. I mean, even though
you could, but it would look bad on your wife.
I live right up the street. I could have faked an injury or could have blamed it on my foot or something like that. But the only way it's going to end, it's not ending when the food's done. It's ending when you're done drinking. And these ladies, and Rach, can put some away. And we don't drink often, like heavily often. They were down in these tequilas and they wouldn't stop. And I'm like, this night has got to end. How do I end this night? It just wouldn't stop. So, I made numerous trips to the bathroom because usually just the act of standing up gets people kind of going, okay, we're about to wrap things up here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the waitress comes over and, she keeps asking, can I get you anything else? Do you want dessert? Do you want something to drink? Oh, yeah, 3 more tequila mamas or whatever the fuck they were ordering. Another round. Honey, do you want another one of those things? I'm like, yes, please. The ladies are drinking tequila. I'm drinking this, mulehito with my sushi.
No, that's when you got to order water, and then they realize like, oh, like we better wrap this up, and then they start feeling guilty for ordering more drinks because they're like, oh, this guy's already trying to sober up.
That's actually really brilliant. I never even thought about that. I'm going to start bringing Brandon with me to these places.
Yeah, Brandon, like we'll just leave now.
You're gonna now be my social wingman.
Just like, all right, yep, time to go.
Hey, my guy needs to go. He's got to go wash his hair. We got to get at it. He's got to get back down to South Georgia.
He just died. We're bringing him back.
We're bringing him back. So then here's the last part. And this is one of the main reasons why I don't like going out with people that I don't like going out with anybody really, but definitely people I don't know. This is it always has been uncomfortable. It's always been awkward. It is a struggle for me, no matter who I'm with, is the check. I always feel that I have to pay. And I blame my best friend for this, DJ Jeff Retro. He doesn't even know this. So if anybody wants to tag him on this episode of Bailey's Black Cloud, he can know this for the very first time. He's a very, very successful, very, very famous club DJ in Las Vegas. He's got residency at Hakkasan. He's the man. He's on billboards. I'm very, very proud of him, and I love him to death. He's one of very few people in this world that I would take a bullet for. But when we were in high school, and that's when we met, he's a year older than me, we would go out, and I used to be really, really cheap. Hold on, I take that back. I used to be extremely frugal. Like,
yeah,
you're in high school, you got like $5 to your name, you're going out and you got $20, and then somebody's with you and they're like, hey dude, can you buy me a can of dip? Or hey, can you pick up that beer for me and stuff? Well, that's $3 out of your $20, so, and it's 8:30 at night and you've got the rest of the night. You don't know what's going to happen. So I would have a tendency to be like, no, dude, you fucking buy your own shit.
Yeah.
And I remember one night we were drunk and we might have all been juiced up at the time. I don't know. We would fight at the end of the night, like literally like get into physical altercations. Like that's just how the night would always end. We'd just chase each other around cars and try to punch each other. and he got on me about being cheap. And I think it was because he wanted a dip and I wouldn't give him a dip. And I remember him just browbeating me about, you live in this really nice fucking house, man, and you fucking got a car, and I don't have a car, and I just asked for a fucking dip, and you wouldn't even give me a fucking dip, Bailey, you're fucking so cheap, you cheap fucking bastard, man, bro, what the fuck? I'll never forget that night, and it made me think, I'm like, God, am I really that cheap? And it hurt my feelings. So, like, ever since then, I usually am the guy, right, Nate? I'll always pick up the tab.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not rich by no stretch of the imagination. I just feel obligated all the time when I go out to pick up the tab. Now if it's for you guys, like, I'm not going to ask Brandon to pick up the tab because he does so much for me and us and this project, and I wish I could pay him 10 times more than what I could pay him. So if I can buy him lunch or if I can buy him dinner, the same thing with you, Nate, when we were down in Mexico, picked up the tabs because you went over and beyond to set up everything, and it's not that big of a deal. And I'm not saying this because I just want you guys to remember it. I'm saying it as an example of, with you guys, it's a little bit different. I don't feel obligated, but when I go out with people, I always feel obligated to pick up the tab. So back to this night at this sushi place, me and the 3 ladies. Now, of course, I'm going to pick up the tab for my wife. The lady brings over the check. And she, like a good waitress, by the way, asks the table, should I split this? Or how many ways do you want me to split it, if at all? That's a good waitress, by the way.
Yes.
The restaurant, by the way, is, I think it's Ceviche. I think that's where we went.
Yeah, ceviche?
Ceviche. You guys know about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very popular sushi place.
That's what we were eating down in Mexico. Remember that fish stuff? Cold fish? That was called ceviche.
Yeah, I understand that, but this is a restaurant.
I know, but is that what they're playing off of? Cold fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all in cahoots together, Brandon.
Okay.
They all work together. They share the name. It's just like Taco Bell and every other just like Mexican restaurants with Mexican in it or L. They're all in boat together. They're all in the same bed.
You're right.
So she asked, split the tab and stuff. And as the guy, the guy's always supposed to pay, right? I mean, that's how I was brought up. I feel like the guy should always pay. And even if you're with, and that's the thing, if you're two strange women, you should still pay. I really think I should. So I was like, but I knew that bill was going to be really, it was. I mean, because I know how much I paid. Spoiler alert. And so thank God one of the other women said, can you split it 3 ways? So she even put her friend on blast. Like, I'm not picking up your tab. And what's crazy is that our friend that we know, was visiting. So if you go by the unwritten rules of paying a tab, she invited us out, and I'm assuming she invited her out. So she actually should have picked up the whole tab.
Yeah.
Because that's the rule. You don't invite somebody out. Like, that's like inviting a homeless guy out to dinner and saying, all right, dude, we're splitting this when it's all after we've eaten. Like, you just assume if somebody invites you out to dinner, they're picking up the tab.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you're going out as couples, you wouldn't assume that they were going to pay for you. I think if a friend is in town and you invite take them out to dinner, that's always the hard thing, is if there's other people with there, because you can't be like, yeah, I got hers, but they're paying their own shit. Like, it's hard to separate it that way. But yeah, just to separate it 3 ways like that. And that's nice that the waitress did that, because that's all, you feel like a cheapskate also if you say that. Oh, who has the check? Yeah, can you, we're together. Can you split this up? Mm-hmm. That's always uncomfortable. I don't know if you feel like you have to pay for the whole thing, but she definitely should have got her friend's tab.
Well, I think she should have got us over her friend, to be honest with you. Because we're the reason that she went out. I mean, we're the reason she exists.
No, because they would have gone out without you guys. If you guys couldn't go, they probably still would have gone out.
I don't know. I think.
But the thing that does piss me off when you're trying to, when one check comes and you say, oh, we'll just all split it 3 ways or whatever it is. Alexis and I generally drink beer, which can $2, $3, $4, maybe $5 a beer. Then there's people that are getting liquor drinks that can be $10 for a drink, and so now I'm splitting and I'm paying half part of your drink. When if I knew that we were doing that, I would have got something more expensive. I hate that.
What makes things really awkward and uncomfortable is when you don't have a good waitress or waiter and they bring the bill to the table and they just throw it on the table and walk away. And then everybody, you're waiting for the person to say, how do you guys want to do this? Or I've got it. That's where I get uncomfortable, because I usually just grab it and I pull out my credit card. In my head, I'm thinking, I'll pull out my credit card and somebody say, oh, no, let me get some of that. And I'll say, okay. And they do say that, but I never say okay. I'm like, oh, don't worry, I got it. And then in my head, I'm going, I want them to fight me a little bit more on it. Then they stop fighting me. And I'm like, fuck, got myself into a hole. That's a little bit of a pickle for you there, Bailey. So in this case, you'll go ahead.
Oh, and then you always say, are you sure? Like they're going to say, oh, yeah, no, actually, you pay for that. I wasn't sure. You're right.
Brandon, do you have any of these problems? Like the last time you went out with on a date, whether it's a woman or Deaf August, do you fight for the bill?
Usually when I see the waitress coming with the checks, I go to the bathroom.
To go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
See, now,
that's what you got to do.
No, that's played out. I was going to bring that up. It's funny you did. They know. People know. Like there's Reddit threads on girls that go on dates and guys that are trying to skip out on the tab. They'll get up and go to the bathroom at the right time. And I did that one time with my wife, like recently, and I didn't do it on purpose. And I came back to the table and she goes, did you get up for me to pay for the bill? And I was like, what? And she goes, you pulled the old, I'm going to the bathroom right when the bill was coming thing. Like you knew. I said, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I go, no. I go, does it matter who pays? I go, no, that's not why I got up. I was like, I'm offended that you actually are even thinking that I would do that.
Yeah, because I would just assume, oh, we're just going to take care of it when you get back. The bill's still going to be there unless you grab it.
I mean, truth be told, I'm out of work now, and this podcast is still to reach its top potential. So maybe I did get up at the right time, and maybe no one will ever know. So I make the joke. So after one of the girls, she goes, okay, and then we'll finish things up. But one of the girls goes, okay, we'll split it 3 ways and all that good stuff. And I was like, have you guys ever played credit card roulette? Because I've seen it, like on viral videos. It was a big thing some years ago, but I've never actually done it. I've never been in the situation to do it. And you know what it is, right? Where everybody puts their credit card in and the waitress picks a credit card, and whatever credit card she picks, the bill goes on that credit card. So you're gambling. You seen that?
No. I've only seen the one where everybody puts their cell phone in a stack in the middle of the table, and the first one to grab it has to pay the bill.
No, this is credit card roulette.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I've never done it before. Like, can we just do a mock run? It's you don't have to pay for it, but let's just see which one she picks. So we're talking to the waitress, and she goes, oh yeah, we have people that do this all the time. She goes, this is what waitresses and waiters do. We always pick the one in the middle. She goes, we always do. That's just we don't have time for it. It's like, so if yours happens to be in the middle, you're fucked. I was like, all right. So ended up, we did it. I did not get picked. So I would not have even have to have paid my part of the tab. But anyway, nice. to finish this out, the black cloud moment was the awkward uncomfortableness of me on a girls' night out. And you would think it would be great. 1 dude, 3 chicks, right? Not so much. Conversations are a little weird, and then they get a little uninteresting when alcohol, they all kind of get that melty face and like all strokes. And
it's like when you go out with people that work together and then you sit there as they talk about work stuff together, and then you're the odd man out.
I'm Jason Segel to Kristen Bell in Forgetting Sarah Marshall when she walks the red carpet. He's always, hey, Andre the Giant, can you move out of the way? Get out of the picture. That's exactly what I am. A quick reminder before we finish this up. If you are a 2%er, you are a subscriber. I know the Wednesday shows are free. Get that. But if you do want to subscribe, or you already subscribe, once a month, we're doing big giveaways as much as we can when we get stuff. We've already got a really cool prize for next month. This month, Atlanta Grill Company, who are fantastic people. If you are in Georgia, especially Roswell, Upper Hembry Road, and you are a griller, you want a pizza oven, charcoal, Yetis, whatever you need, they got it up there. And Jason and Gary and everybody are fantastic, and they're dear friends of mine. They gave us an Atlanta Grill Company complete rub set. This is almost a $200 value. I know you're thinking, well, I can get some spices at the dollar store. This is the good stuff. This is all the stuff. I only use Atlanta Grill Company. Well, that's not true, but most of the spices, most of the rubs that I use come from Atlanta Grill Company. There's some other mom pa's that we have in the area that I use that are very good, but this is a set of 12 very large rubs. Everything from, the big chicken to Argentina steak to lemon pepper, Coach's zesty lemon pepper, garlic and herb prime, volcano dust. It's really cool. All you have to do is be a subscriber. That's all you got to do. Podcastthebs.com. So, you listen, you get all the content. We were talking about all the new stuff we're going to be adding. It's well worth the $5, I think. I think so. Some people online don't think so, but I think so. And so we want to do everything we possibly can to give you stuff to say thank you. So, every once in a while we'll give away some T-shirts like we did over Christmas. We got a once a month big prize. We're going to have some live events coming up. Hopefully next month we can make that happen. But again, podcastthebs.com. All right, you guys got anything before we get out?
Happy Wednesday.
Yep, there you go. All right, thanks for listening, and bye.
People have said it for years.
Bailey, you have a black cloud hanging over you all the time.
Now,